Hi, everyone, and welcome to Orlando, Florida with the SeaWorld Wakeboard Big Air Championships presented by Mountain Dew. I'm Doug Dunbar alongside my good buddy and the wakeboard innovator himself. This is Tony Finn. 25 grand on the line, Tony. More money than any wakeboarder has seen in a single event, which makes the judging very critical here.
This is the first time that the judging has been 100% subjective. There's 3 expert judges, and what they're looking for is the biggest, most technical airs. Whoever goes the biggest gets the most points.
And with this unique format, we have a unique way of competing in the course itself. Tell us about that.
Each rider gets to hit 4 double-ups. Now, what a double-up is when the boat doubles back around its own wake and creates an intersection that becomes a huge launch ramp for the riders to go off on. Now, only the top 2 jumps are scored, so the course is designed for the riders to go huge.
And they're going huge for a lot of money. With that, we will get a look at our leaderboard. After the semifinal round of action, here's how the finals shape up. Sean Murray, top expression session rider. Watch for him, the ever-present Darren Shapiro. Greg McCrason, national champion in freestyle, in the mix as well. But we'll begin actually with a look back. Just a few minutes ago, Sean Murray, the top guy we just talked about, gets off the dock. These guys routinely take a couple of warm-up jumps, but for Sean, something went wrong.
Sean just going for a warm-up, looked like he was doing a 180, but he just goes down. He boosted a little bit too big, and then he starts clowning for the crowd. Now, the question was, will they let him ride, or will they count that as his first fall?
And an even bigger question for a guy like a Sean Murray, so consistent, what happened?
He just boosted too big. Look how big he goes. He's just flailing up there, swimming, what the riders call it.
The answer to your other question, Tony, yes, Sean Murray does get a re-ride. Judges confer. Yeah, Mr. Style will get a little extra today. And you see the knee socks that he has. Mr. Style always looking good on the water. So as Tony mentioned at the top of the show, the boat goes out into the show circle here at SeaWorld, a 180-degree turn, and then the wakes converge for the double-up.
One of the important things about this competition is where the rope is pulling the riders from. You'll see the rope going straight up. It's being pulled by the flight control tower, and that's where it's attached to. And what that means is the riders get a little extra airtime because of where the rope's pulling them.
Little delay in the 360.
Sean Murray goes for a late 360, slowed down on the rotation a little bit, but it looked like maybe he was going to do a 540 or 720, and he couldn't get all the rotation, so he only does a 360.
We judge it. 10 points for each judge would be the best. You see here about half of that, 15.2 the total. In high school, it'd be probably about a D- or maybe even an F if you're going by percentages.
We're looking for some bigger things from Sean Murray. A 360 is a great trick, but not quite as big as we'd like to see. Here he comes front side. Oh my, a front side scarecrow 540. Look at the handle pass right here. It's late, and then he takes the board for an extra 180-degree rotation. Now that's a big trick.
Big tricks get big payoffs. 24.1 on the second double up. Speaking of judging and how these guys work it all out, let's talk to the experts. Our Tony Finn's dockside.
I'm here with the president and head judge of the World Wakeboard Association, Jimmy Redmond. Jimmy, this is one of the first times where a contest has been 100% subjective on the scoring. Describe it to me.
Well, what's unique about this event is we're concentrating on their single best big air maneuver.
So what does a rider have to do? If he wants to win this event, what should he be doing out there?
What he needs to do is the absolute hardest trick he can do in his whole repertoire and take it as big as possible. What we've got is we have 3 judges, and 50% of the score is technical based on the difficulty of trick, and the other half is how big they're going. We combine that for a total score and add them up.
Well, Jimmy Redmond just talked about taking it as big as possible. The man you see on the dock taking off, Darren Shapiro, without question the winningest wakeboarder in this sport's history, and a guy who, with a shorter stature, can actually go a lot bigger than most of the big guys.
Darren is very unique in that he's only 5 feet nothing, but he's super, super strong. So he can hold on to tricks and take tricks a lot bigger than your average wakeboarder.
This is the first of 2 double-ups in the final round of action. We're at SeaWorld here in Orlando, Florida. The correct craft making the right-hand turn, and Shapiro in for the first double-up.
And the crowd is looking for the speedball, a trick he invented, and Darren throws it. He over-rotates. Can he hold on to it? Oh, my! His foot comes out of the binding, but Darren holds on.
And let me tell you, a big difference there for Shapiro. You see, he's wearing a wetsuit. Some of these guys go out with jackets on. Not all of them wear the wetsuits. And on that particular trick, could have helped make the difference in getting out of it.
That helped him tumble up. Let's see what happens here. Huge rotation. How can anybody over-rotate 2 front flips? It's unbelievable, but Darren does it, and then his foot comes out of the binding. Right here, his foot just comes out and he holds on. He's super strong. And then watch his left hand right here. Puts his left hand in the water, uses it as a rudder, and he pulls it out.
Look at that. Darren Shapiro, and the judges reward the effort. 25.1. Again, a possible 30 on that first jump. He comes up pretty close. 25.1 after one.
How can he follow that one up? Big on his toe side. Nice. That's an elephant. It's a front side front roll to revert that you pull back to forward right at the end.
Shapiro makes his way to the show circle. Little how you do for the crowd, and you see the judges not rewarding that nearly as much as that big double front. A 20.4. The combined total after round one, 45.5 points for Darren Shapiro.
Look at that carve into the wake. Pops off that double up, gets good extension. Now look right here, he's gonna land it fakie, but right at the end, turns it back to forward. Nice trick.
Darren, I gotta talk to you about your strategy here, going for it all on your very first attempt.
Yeah, that's just something I've always kind of done. I mean, I don't see any reason to really hold back and try to come out easy and do it later. I like to try to maybe surprise the judges, catch them off guard, you know, because a lot of guys go out and kind of warm it up, but I don't know, I just get excited and I just want to go as hard as I can.
So what happened? It looked like your foot came out of your binding on your landing, but how were you able to pull it out?
Well, I think I kicked it a bit too much because I came down with a lot of room, and it's kind of tough to see the landing because, you know, it's a front flip. So I came down, I lost my foot. I said, man, if there's any good time to hold on and get back up, whether you got one foot in or not, it'd be now. So I just put on the death grip and stood back up.
So the masterful effort pays off. Shapiro, our current leader. But he'll be challenged. This young man suiting up, Randy Harris, the 16-year-old Californian, when we come back to SeaWorld.
First and hometown favorite Dean Lavelle are next up as Doug Dunbar and Tony Finn resume their call.
We welcome you back to the very chilly SeaWorld Big Air Championships presented by Mountain Dew. Polar bears you see here, part of the Wild Arctic exhibit here at SeaWorld. And on this day, it's actually pretty chilly out. Temperatures right now in the upper 60s to maybe 70 degrees. And for Randy Harris, young up-and-comer, it's a chilly day, but a chance to get hot and move up with the big boys.
Randy is one of the only riders, actually he's the only rider in the final that's from California. Pretty much everybody else lives in Florida, but you can see some of his California style. He's got that skate style about him, and sometimes he doesn't do that well in competitions, but a competition like this where it's just going big and letting it all hang out, we expect a lot from Randy here.
Boat turns the 180, the first of two double-ups here in the final round of action.
Randy coming in toe side.
Oh, that's big.
Oh, tries to make the board do a complete 360. He was attempting a scarecrow Mobius, but he was doing it a little bit differently.
And he tried to land it blind as well.
Now watch this. See, he doesn't do a handle pass. That's why he does not do a handle pass. He doesn't quite get the rotation, and he goes down. But that was a very technical trick. Good attempt for Randy.
Out of a possible 30, 15.5 points on jump one. Here's the second.
Coming in heel side this time. Just a nice, big front flip. Not as technical as the first trick, but he stuck it.
Exactly. So he won't get the big rewards like you saw earlier with Darren Shapiro's double front effort. Randy Harris, little disappointment in round one, but he'll have a second round. Two more double-ups to come for Randy. Scores after two, 19-2 on the second jump. Add them both up. And in the first round, Harris on the board with a 34.7. Randy takes to the dock, and Dean Lavelle. That's his girlfriend, Sonia Scheffler. They're getting married, we hear. Lavelle actually has some pretty strong ties here at SeaWorld.
Dean Lavelle, the toilet scrubber.
Yes, I started as a skier. I skied for 6 months, and then I got laid off. I was just temporary help, and I got laid off, and to stay around, I went and worked in the park. I swept up the park, I cleaned the park, I drove forklifts and carried stuff around, and I worked the parking lot. I mean, I picked cigarette butts off of this floor, but the one thing that was really neat is I got to, you know, meet so many people in the park, then I also got to learn the park.
You got to wonder with that strong relationship here with SeaWorld if he's got kind of a home field advantage.
I have definitely the support here, but I also have the, you know, it's like they're my roots, they're my family. I mean, this place is my family, and so it makes me nervous because I'm going to perform well for them, so it adds a little extra pressure, I think.
There's no doubt Lavelle spends a lot of time on the water, but he does so often with this young lady, Sonia Scheffler, his fiancée and partner.
train each other. You know, I'll help him do tricks that, you know, I can't even do myself, but I can tell him what he's doing wrong, and he spends every day watching me knock my head off. All I gotta say is he thinks I take hard crashes. Wait, you guys gotta see the footage of him the other day. I mean, what is it? He's cutting in for the double up and just getting smoked.
And then they laugh at me. I heard that they laughed at me. You know,
I couldn't even
what
go
support do I get from these guys? But
on
laughing. I kill myself. They laugh.
$250 for the best crash. I just walked up to the judges and said, "Can I have my $250, please?"
They really are as nice as they appear. Dean Lavelle, Sonia Scheffler, and Dean's only knock, occasionally he'll forget a run, and he'll forget what he's doing. It's happened before, but the absent-minded sometimes, Dean Lavelle, always a pleasure to be around and a great rider.
Well, sometimes I think any athlete, when you're under a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, you can forget what you're doing, and that happened to Dean one time at the X Games, and you're not letting him live it down.
We'll never let him forget it, no doubt about it. Remember, Darren Shapiro, your current leader here at the SeaWorld Wakeboard Big Air Championships, but Dean Lavelle, another top rider, set to give his shot.
Dean has a reputation as more of a freestyle rider, but he likes to go big, and he likes the expression session and big air format. Oh, right there, he misses the grab. Looked like he was trying to hoochie glide, but he did not grab the board. Let's see what happens here.
Seemed like he not only missed the grab, but not the altitude that he really wanted.
Yeah, he didn't get quite the pop, and he just, look at his hand there looking for it. Maybe grabbed it down there at the bottom, but really not the type of hoochie glide that we'd like to see.
Lavelle getting altitude nowadays by learning to fly airplanes, so when he's done wakeboarding, he'll still be sky high on occasion. After that first jump, 16.2 points on the board for Dean. He wants more in the second.
Coming in toe side for this one. Yeah, that's a nice trick. That's a Tootsie Roll. Comes into it, doesn't quite get the extension, but he gets good pop stand straight up for that front flip. Good handle pass, and completes the rotation. Right on for Dean.
Bigger trick, bigger points. 21.4 on the second. You combine the total here in round one. Dean Lavelle, 37.6. He's with Tony.
Looks like you missed your first one a little bit, but then you came back hard on the second.
Yeah, after that crash last night that I took, I kind of was a little nervous coming in that first one. Then the second one, I was like, okay, just take it big, take it under control, and let's land one of these things. Get me ready for next round.
Describe your second maneuver for us.
It's a front. It actually, I think, went more like a front flip. Sometimes it goes front roll, sometimes it goes front flip, and that one was. And so what's weird is I saw the water real late, and I did the blind 180 like right at the last second. So it was pretty intense in the air because I'm coming off and landing, and then I made it, and I was like really stoked. So let's go.
The always smiling Lavelle now in third place after the effort, but may not last long. When we come back to the SeaWorld Big Air Championships, Parks Bonifay takes to the water. Everyone, the SeaWorld Big Air Championships presented by Mountain Dew. It's Key West at SeaWorld, what you're looking at, the new attraction where people get to interact with the dolphins. Now, Tony Finn's going to show you how to interact with your board.
We're seeing the wakeboarders get huge air today here at the first ever Big Air World Championships. And one of the main reasons for that is the technical and design advancements in the wakeboards. This is what we used to ride in the 80s. Look at this thing. It's a relic. It's long and skinny, and it's hard to get big air on. Now you move to a board like this. It's a lot wider, 15 inches wide in the belly, and that gives you a lot of surface to go big on. Take it to the extreme, and you have this board, 17 inches wide in the middle of the board. And when you come up to the tail area right here, tons of area, so it allows you to get huge pop and stay in the air a long time to do the technical big tricks that we're seeing here today.
Tony gets in here. We got to figure out if he still rides that old relic. Darren Shapiro, your current leader, 45.5 points. Sean Murray not too far behind. But Parks Bonifay back on the water. And Mr. Finn, do you still go out and ride the Scurfer occasionally?
I'd say last time I rode the Scurfer was a couple years ago, but I still enjoy it. It's fun. You know, you can do certain things on it like slalom turn, but you can't really go big. And I like to go big as I can at my age.
Parks Bonifay started riding at age 12. Now he's about a third of Tony Finn's age.
No. He's about a half of my age.
No question, though. He really loves his format here in Orlando.
Well, they're just running it totally different. It's a step forward, I think, and they're just running it in heats like all the other sports do. And I don't know. I think it's rad.
Let's see how rad he can get. Jump number one.
Parks goes giant. That's an incredible trick. That's a front flip Mobius. It's called the Pete Rose. Parks gets good pop. Look at him hit that ramp perfectly. And then the handle pass is nice and tight. Good. Pete Rose for Parks Bonifay. The judges ought to reward him nicely.
And they do. 22.4 after jump number 1. One of the highest scores on a single jump we've seen so far today.
Now,
boat rounds, second double up.
we saw Darren do the double front. Parks does the double tantrum. He goes for it. Ooh.
And where Darren Shapiro over-rotates, you see the score 17.6 on jump number 2. He comes up a little bit short.
It's very difficult to get 2 rotations in the air. Let's see if Parks hits it right. He does. He gets a nice hit. He looks like he starts rotating a little bit too early. Doesn't take it quite up enough, and then comes down hard and can't hold on.
Round 1 total 40.0 for Parks Bonifay in the mix. Another round to come. Each guy gets 4 jumps on the day. Next up, this is Greg McCrason. He's doing a dock start, a little different than everybody else.
Greg likes to be different. He is one of those guys that likes to do things a little bit differently. He likes to go big. He likes to carve. He likes to go skate style. And he also is a pretty good snowboarder, so he's a well-rounded athlete.
He's 21 years old, local guy as well. Born in Winter Park, still lives there.
Look at him right there, thinking about his trick, thinking about what he's going to do. He wants to hit it. He wants to hit it big. He told me if he wins to 10 grand here today, if he comes in first, he's going to buy a brand new house.
Good luck to Greg McCrason, the first of 2 double ups in the final round.
That's a blind mow, but he did not hit it well. Look at what happened.
Short.
He landed very, very short. I mean, it was good technically, but he definitely missed the meat of the double up. He has a nice carve into it, just mistimes it a little bit. Nice handle pass. That's a hard trick. That's a blind Mobius, where you rotate away from the boat. It's very difficult, but because he lands it short, I'm sure the judges aren't going to give him huge points.
Good, not huge, as you mentioned. 19.3.
It was good for technical, but not good for big.
Oh, what happened there? Now, he hit a wake before he got to the double up. Maybe mistimed it.
That was weird. He didn't even do anything off the double up. Now, the good thing for Greg McCrason is there's another round, and your bottom 2 scores are dropped.
Yeah, we should mention that. 4 jumps in all today. You see he zeroes out on jump number 2. Disappointing, but not definitely threatening for the whole day. Now Ryan Sebring on the dock, set to go. The Flying Hawaiian, some call him. Very tall in stature. This guy, if he nails that wake just right, he'll fly higher than anybody today.
Ryan has not performed that well in contests, but everybody knows him worldwide as one of the best free riders in the business. He loves wakeboarding, but in contests sometimes he chokes. Let's see what he does today.
Ryan's got a pretty strong surfing background. You might expect that coming out of Hawaii. Translating those skills behind the power of the correct craft. Jump number 1 in the final round.
No!
Big and over-rotate. Sebring almost nailed a beautiful trick.
I thought for sure Ryan was going to nail that. That's a very difficult trick. It's called a fruit loop. It's a toe side front flip to blind 180. Let's see what happens here. He takes it up big. Handle pass is pretty good and lands it, but just leans a little bit too far forward. You know, maybe his height sort of caused a little bit of a problem there. He's not super low to the ground, and he could not hold on to that.
Size, a bit of a disadvantage. 15.4 on the first one. Oh, that is big.
Oh, huge for Ryan Sebring. Trying the same trick that we saw Greg try, and Greg made it but landed short. This time, Ryan takes it up and takes it huge, but can't hold on.
17.8 the total. You see there 33.2, but again, we mentioned earlier, even with that fall, they only take the top 2 scores, and he has another 2 jumps to come. First double up in the final round for Brandon Johnson out of the University of Colorado, lives in Boulder, trains there, and is unveiling a little trick today that he calls the Moby Dick.
It's a back flip with a full twist, and it's blind, so it includes a handle pass in the trick. It is a trick that it's one of the only Mobiuses, which is a full twisting flip that can be taken really big off the double up. Most of them are real technical and can't be taken big, but this one usually is taken big the way I'm doing it.
So we'll see if Brandon can back it up. He likes to take this trick big. Can he pull off the Mobius? Yeah, he does. Now, he doesn't take it quite as big as I've seen him before. He didn't pop off the double up exactly right, but the judges reward him anyway.
20.8 after the first jump.
Starts off with the back flip. Now, there's a handle pass. It's really clean and then completes the rotation a little bit late, but holds on to it.
One area where Brandon might have a huge advantage over the rest of the field, he's an aerobatic pilot. He knows where he's at in the air, even upside down all the time. And that certainly is a huge help. Lower speed, he's asking for it. The second jump.
Nails the double up, going for the Mobius. Cannot quite hold on. This is what Brandon was talking about. The Mobius is very technical. Now the riders are getting judged 50% height and 50% technical. Brandon trying to do both, but cannot hold on.
The 37.2 bumps him into 5th position after one round, but Darren Shapiro still hanging out of the lead. Hey, there is no sleeping at the wheel here in Orlando. When we come back, the second round, big bucks, big money on the line for the SeaWorld Big Air Championship. On to SeaWorld for the SeaWorld Wakeboard Big Air Championships presented by Mountain Dew. Doug Dunbar along with Tony Finn. Tony, as we stand, Darren Shapiro, #1 right now. Lavelle, Parks Bonifay still in the mix, but Darren's supreme physical effort really paid off.
I think Darren Shapiro is the best wakeboarding competitor alive today. Goes for the speedball, a double front flip. He's the only guy who does it. He comes out of his binding and he pulls it off. I mean, the crowd went wild, and that is what propelled him to the lead right now.
And all of that after Darren Shapiro was out for over a year because of an injury. Shapiro on top of the leaderboard. But the next guy, I'm looking at his bio. It's very interesting. The first thing you read here for Brandon Johnson, I'm 19, I'm 5'10", 140 pounds, and I'm injury-free. He's pretty proud of that, and most guys who can say that in this sport should be compelled to say so.
Well, the incessant pounding on your body when you're going so big, in wakeboarding, snowboarding, and skateboarding, these types of sports, it causes a lot of injuries. You have to be smart. You have to be an athlete. You have to, be nutritionally smart, and you can't do dumb things. And Brandon Johnson is very intelligent. He's one of the most intelligent wakeboarders out there, and he puts his intelligence to use behind the boat.
This is second round action. Out of 4 jumps today, only the best 2 will count. The worst will be thrown out.
Brandon going from the outside in. Oh, that's unfortunate. Looked like he landed the Mobius, but I don't know why he fell. He gets a good pop right here, takes it up. Handle pass is a little bit late. Look, he throws the handle. He had to throw the handle from his backhand to his front hand, and it caused him to lean a little bit too far forward, and he couldn't quite hold on.
Second angle.
Gets a good pop, good rotation. But when he threw the handle, it kind of caused him to lean forward a little bit, and he went down.
Almost looked like his head was looking back still as well a little bit. 14.1. You see judge 1, 2, and 3. That's the score out of a possible 10 for each judge.
Hopefully Brandon could come up with something here. Giant! Oh, a huge Moby Dick attempt. That's a tandem with a full 360 rotation.
And how close was he to hanging on to that?
Oh, that's unfortunate for Brandon, but he went big, and the judges give him good scores considering that he fell.
16.3 the total. Second round, 37.2. The lowest 2 scores out of all 4, though, remember, will be thrown out.
Man, he's going big right here. Going huge. Handle pass is all right, but the handle is in his backhand, and it kind of throws him off kilter right there. Brandon goes down.
Johnson's done for the day. Next on the water, Ryan Sebring.
Ryan had a little bit tough in the first round, but I have a lot of confidence in his ability. I feel like he's going to come out here right now and stick a couple tricks.
These guys are skiing in the show circle here at SeaWorld. If you've ever visited, the same water that the great SeaWorld ski show rides on.
Let's see what Ryan Sebring could put together for us. I know that he's going to be trying some difficult tricks right here. He's going to come in toe side for his first double up here in the second round. Hits it nice. Nice trick. That's a Fruit Loop. It's a front flip with the blind 180 rotation. He doesn't quite get as big as I've seen him go before, but he hits it nice. He starts his rotation a little bit early. Handle pass is a little wobbly, but he lands way outside the wake, and the judges should give him a pretty high score for the technical merits of that trick.
Got that little flying Hawaiian sign in his right hand when he landed, too. All in the 6s, 18.9. Jump number 3 over. 1 more to go. The boat makes the 180. Wakes converge. The final jump for Sebring.
Oh, that's pretty big right there for Ryan. That's that blind Mobius. We saw Greg McCrason do it in the first round. He comes up. Look at how he's turning away from the boat. That's why this trick is more difficult. It's called blind. He does a blind rotation, and the judges give him a good score.
Judges 2 and 3 paying off in the 7s, and great standing now for Ryan Sebring. When we come back, though, the man you just mentioned, Greg McCrason, he'll take to the air.
Let's now go to the SeaWorld Wakeboard Big Air Championships.
Welcome back, everyone. It's the SeaWorld Big Air Championships presented by Mountain Dew. Here in Central Florida, our riders this weekend looking for big air and big bucks, but looking for big fun as well, as you see. All of them enjoying the new Journey to Atlantis ride here at SeaWorld. You can try it, too. Come down to Central Florida. Head back out to the water. Greg McCrason.
Well, earlier today, Doug, you had a chance to talk to Wakeboard's current national champion, Greg McCrason.
One rider who has always been waiting for his ship to come in, literally, is Greg McCrason. Greg, you've been dealing with a lot of second, third, fourth, fifth place finishes over the last few years, and never that number one consistently. Playing on your mind at this point?
That's right, Doug. It's kind of been doing a lot of seconds and fifths, and you said, and hopefully I'm looking to win and get the top prize, so.
What does it take for a rider who's been dealing with that kind of, and it's not necessarily inconsistency, because you're in the top 5 more often than you're not, but what do you do to get over that hump and to get that big finish?
Probably just gonna have to do the harder tricks and the mobs and the handle passes and do the grab with the flips and just the big spins, 7s. That's what it's gonna take to win, and because everyone else is going for it today, especially, you got Dean and Brandon Johnson and Ryan Sebring and a lot of top guys in this tournament, which is really good because it's just like a hard tournament. Either you make it or you break it on, your 2 double-ups. So, but today we get 4, which is a little bit better than yesterday.
Here in SeaWorld, the format very unique. Do you think it's to your advantage or your disadvantage?
Obviously, I feel it's to my advantage just because where freestyle, you have to go out and write 5 tricks per pass, and it's real subjective to like the tricks per score on the attack sheet. And where this is, you go out and do your thing, and they judge you to how they feel, your height and the way you landed and just your overall, their impression of your 2 double-ups. So I think it's a lot better than just the standard freestyle.
And as Greg McCrason gets set for his final 2 jumps here at SeaWorld, he's right in the mix as always.
Huge on that, but he landed it a little bit short still. Greg, sort of getting used to the way the double-ups are being driven here. He's got to be happy with it, but he probably wishes he would have went a little bit bigger and landed a little bit further. Actually, he goes big. He goes straight up in the air, though. Not much distance, but huge height, and that causes him to land right on the top of the wake. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he held on to it.
Using that right arm to keep that balance, Greg McCrason, 20.6, good first jump in the second round.
Oh, giant right there. That's a huge elephant.
What's up, he says to the crowd.
He would look like he was going to do a scarecrow, which is a frontside front roll to revert, and then right at the last second, he turned it back to forward, and the judges rewarded him with a good score.
Yeah, surprising, though, only by a point from the 3rd jump officially. McCrason, here's the final effort again.
Huge carved toe side, just hits it nice, gets giant air, and then pokes it, and then puts it back to the forward position. Unreal jump for Greg.
41.6 the total. I'm kind of surprised at the second score.
You thought they should have given him more points for that?
A little bit.
I think they did not give him that many technical points, but they gave him good air points.
Sean Murray giving Parks Bonifay a little pump off the dock. And Bonifay, as you see, the 96 Pro Tour overall champion, a skittish 1997, battled a little mental fatigue throughout the season on the Pro Tour, but he's really come back in fine fashion.
Well, Parks has the ability within him to do anything he wants in the sport of wakeboarding. It's just a matter of, can he get it together? After being only 15 years old and being the X Games champion, I think it put a lot of heat on him, and now here he is with a chance for victory here at the SeaWorld Big Air. Parks coming in toe side, and he just throws a little front roll. I mean, for most of us, that would be an unbelievable trick. But for Parks Bonifay, here, it's not going to be good enough. Looks like he was a little bit indecisive. He might have been thinking about throwing a frontside railie or something, but in the middle of his jump, he just said, well, I'll do a front roll. He lands it, but the judges are not going to give him that many points for that.
As a matter of fact, a lot of the guys we talked to today and over the weekend said, well, I may not know what I want to throw until I get there, right at the moment of impact. 17-1 for the official 3rd jump. Here's the 4th and final, the double back.
Oh, Parks going for the temper tantrum, the double tantrum. Come on, boat, speed up. Parks will tumble up in barefoot.
Bonifay pulls a Darren Shapiro here in the final round of action. Darren earlier the double front, and he rode it out, but he still had his wakeboard with him.
He gets nice rotation, though. Huge rotation. Looks like he should have maybe pulled that off. If he was a little bit stronger and just landed a little bit softer, he should have been able to get it. He hits a double up nice, takes it up. Good, solid rotation, twice around, and Just cannot quite hold on. That's unfortunate. If he was a little stronger, he could have pulled that off.
Final score of 40 in the second round for Bonifay. That puts him in 4th position right now. Shapiro still your leader. Tony Finn now with more on the launch area for all the riders today.
One of the keys to getting big air on your wakeboard is having a boat pull you that has a big, even wake. And Correct Craft has long been known in the world as one of the best builders of wakeboarding boats. Their newest innovation is the launch control system. And what the launch control system is 2 independent water tanks, one on the right side and one on the left side that fills up with water. 25 gallons of water in each side, up to 400 pounds of extra weight that allows the boat to ride deeper in the water, making a bigger wake. Now, they're independent. You have controls here, one for the left side and one for the right side. So not only is the wake big, but it's even. Now, the best thing, though, about the launch control system is that it's fully integrated into the hull. So the wake is big, and there's lots of room for passengers.
Everyone will be watching when Dean Lavelle takes to the water next. 50 gallons of water, 400 pounds. He'll be skying when we come back to SeaWorld. Welcome back, everyone. The SeaWorld Big Air Championships presented by Mountain Dew. That's a Daredevil stunt team here. They're part of SeaWorld's new water ski show. Watch this. Little dunk show for you. Something you see halftime at the NBA games. Straight up, off the tramp, off the backboard, slam dunk. How about a second time? Very nice. You'll see that if you head to Central Florida and SeaWorld, part of their new ski show. Round number 2, Darren Shapiro still leads. He's yet to ride again. Greg McCrason comfortably in second for now. And I say for now because Dean Lavelle is on the water next. 2 shots. And remember, 4 jumps altogether today for the riders, but only the best 2 will count. They get to throw away the bad ones.
And we saw a little bit earlier how Greg McCrason missed his second jump and came back strong with the second round, his 3rd and 4th jumps, and nailed him. Now let's see what Dean thinks.
Yeah, I got 4th place on the first round, and now basically just try to put together hopefully one consistent one, and then go for the gusto on the second.
All right, so he's going to back off a little bit on the first jump here to get one on the board.
Coming in heel side. Hits the double up.
That's conservative.
That's a little bit low. I think he would have liked to go a little bit bigger. I mean, yeah, he made it, but I really didn't see the height that I'd like to see. Maybe he was taking it a little bit too slow. He hits it now. You know what? He started his rotation a little bit too soon. If you want to go bigger, you got to take it up a little bit higher. I mean, yeah, it's a good, solid performance for Dean. It's a front flip, and we'll see how the judges react to it.
But it is his strategy. Give him that. It's what he said he wanted to do, something conservative. 18-8 the total. Now comes the big one. Yeah!
Oh! Dean Lavelle thinks he's Darren Shapiro. He was going for the double front. Only seen one guy land it, and that's Darren, and Dean tries it here at the Big Air Championships.
15.2, but what a great effort.
Now, the reason why Darren could do this is because he's so small and so powerful. It's extremely difficult to take that much rotation in the air, and Dean under-rotates the double front attempt.
40.2, the final second round score for Dean Lavelle. Back to the water now. Randy Harris going by the crowd in the show circle. Make his way back toward the stadium. He'll make a left-hand cut now for the double-up.
Comes in toe side. There's that Crow Mobius again. He tries it and he goes down on it. He does it very unique because he does not do a handle pass. He looks like he's a little bit leaned forward too far. Nice grab on the board. Good style. And then lands it hard and can't hold on. Now that its landing is blind. He's not even looking at where he's landing. That's a very difficult trick.
15-1. Now remember, the fall doesn't necessarily matter too much if he can uncork one now, because his worst 2 jumps he'll get to throw out.
Nice grab.
That's big air.
Nice. Coming in heel side. Grabs the nose of the board. And lands it. Good maneuver for Randy Harris.
All eyes now focused on Darren Shapiro, the leader since the first round when he threw that double front flip. The question, does he dare throw it again?
I dare. Yeah, you know, it's a risky trick. I can hurt myself on it. But at the same time, that's what this contest is all about. Big Air Championships, and, you know.
So you will?
I will, yeah, but not to give it one more go. See if I can make it happen.
So there you have it from Darren Shapiro. On the water now, the first trick we will see, the double front flip. And he almost over-rotated it the first time.
Darren's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing here. He wants that 10 G's.
Wow.
Oh, my! That was a thing of beauty.
Absolute perfection for Darren.
Look at this. He just hits it perfectly. Takes it straight up and then gets tight into that tuck. 1, 2 times around. Looks at the landing. Lands a little bit hard, but what do you expect? He's doing a double front and holds on to it. Unbelievable. That has got to be the highest score of the day right there for Darren.
Without question, Tony, 27.5 out of a possible 30 points. Shapiro doesn't even need to throw his last trick.
But here he comes into the wake, front side. Nice grab, a front side hoochie glide. It's a kind of a front side railing with the grab, and Darren is mixing it up. He's done 2 speedballs and then comes in with the stylish front side hoochie glide. Good carve into the wake. Darren carves better than anybody. Nice grab on it. Spots the landing and makes it.
Darren, that speedball was the sickest and cleanest I've ever seen. I mean, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Tony. Yeah, it's one of those tricks. It's like, it's I don't know. Right now it was like, hey, if you can go out and do a speedball, I'll give you $10,000. So I don't know. I'd hate to say that money motivates me, but also the whole idea about being in the Big Air Championship just makes you want to break it. You know, just give it, and if that does it, then it does it.
Well, Darren Shapiro riding high with a 52.6, but don't count out our final competitor who's not even on the top 6. When we come back to SeaWorld, Sean Murray. He did better than a 24 in the first round. He could do it when we come back. The SeaWorld Wakeboard Big Air Championships is presented by Mountain Rider. Taking a shot at Darren Shapiro, who's high atop the leaderboard with a better than 10-point lead. 52.6. Sean Murray, tennis socks and all, has the final shot, and he posted better than a 24 in the first round.
Sean Murray is really going to have to do 2 near-perfect jumps here if he wants to overtake Darren. But second place is big money, too, and second place wouldn't be bad right now for Sean, but he's going to still, to overtake Greg McCrason and Ryan Sebring, he's going to have to come up with something big here.
He's a guy who loves to ride expression, freedom, and he also says most often in this type of competition, being so unique as it is, he oftentimes doesn't think of what he's going to do until right when the wakes converge.
I think he's going to do a big rotational trick here. We saw Thomas Harrell go for the 720, and Sean, you know, he can do 720s, but he didn't get quite the pop he needed for the 7. He went for the 360 the first time. Now look, he goes big, he takes it high, double handle pass, and goes for the 540. Nice, clean 540 for Sean. That's going to be judged fairly well.
Almost a Dean Lavelle type thought pattern here in the final round. 21.5 points, and I say that because Lavelle talked about, hey, I want to get one good one on the board and then stick a huge trick on the second.
I think a 720 has the possibility of being judged just as much as a speedball. But look at that right there. Oh, my. Sean Murray looked like he was going for a scarecrow Mobius, but he didn't get the pop that he needed, and he came up well short of the landing.
45.6 the total for Sean Murray on the second round.
He's coming in heel side here. Watch the handle pass. He's just really late, and just when he grabs the handle, it just pulls him super far forward, and he went down and went down hard.
I liked your stylish 540 on the first double up.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of difficulty with that start-off double up just because it's the start-up rollers and it gives the double up a different shape. So I couldn't put the 7 together, but I just wanted to have a good 5 in there, and then I went for the new trick. It's a switch front with a blind full 360.
And what happened on that one? It looked like maybe you didn't have quite enough air to complete the rotation?
Well, actually, I think I went a little bit too much. But, you know, if we're going to do it, crash hard, so.
Right on. Well, maybe you win the $250 for the best crash.
I think Dean took that one.
He doesn't want that honor. Well, Tony's mingling around, and now we'll go back down to the dock with our $10,000 Big Air winner, Darren Shapiro.
Darren, you've been around a long time, 5-time Pro Tour champion, but this $10,000, I mean, is this the biggest prize ever?
Yeah, by far. I mean, it was only a dream to have contests like this where we could win this much money a few years ago, and every year it just keeps getting better, and having an event like this is just really the icing on the cake and maybe a look into the future.
How do you do it? How do you stay on top? I mean, you're one of the older riders now, but every time when it's on the line, you seem to come up big.
I don't know, man. I really give it everything I've got, and I really think about it a lot, and I try to prepare myself for things like this. And it's been working for me, so I'm going to try to keep doing it.
What are you going to do with the 10 grand?
A lot of things, man.
Eat some sushi, take me out to
eat some sushi, surf trip, you know, spread the love.
All right. Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Thanks, Tony.
Said in true wakeboard style. Darren Shapiro starts off 1998 with 10G in the bank and a big air finish here in Orlando, Florida. Bonifay you see in 6th, Randy Harris and some other names on the up-and-coming list in our top 10. $5,000 to Sean Murray, our second place winner with a great effort today. For Tony Finn, I'm Doug Dunbar. We'll say so long from SeaWorld in Orlando.